Welcome to Queen's Alchemy. It's me, Noreen. I'm the Queen. And today I'm going to be talking about some things that's been on my mind. My job that I have now is truly impacting my mental health to a whole nother degree. I truly don't want to go to work. I wake up every day, and soon as it gets close to that 10 o'clock hour, because I work from home, soon as it gets close to that 10 o'clock hour, I start getting anxiety. I start getting headaches. I start hyperventilating. Most of the time I'm in tears saying I don't want to go to work today. And all I do while I'm at work is wait for the first break, wait for the second break, from any way I can get away from work. I don't work for the worst people in the world. It doesn't matter who you work for or how good your job is, because some people say if you have a job that you enjoy, then you would not mind going to work. I've had jobs that I enjoy, and I did mind going to work. I'm just going to stop right here for a minute because the sun is beautiful. um, the problem is that I don't have time for myself, and the job is very mentally draining. I deal with people on the phones all day long, and the first call you get can be the call that sets the tone for the day. I have to do all kinds of rituals before I start work, and it still depresses me. I'm sage, I clear my space, I do all these things so that I can be able to get through the day. When I get that first phone call of the day and they got an issue, they got a problem, people forget that you are a human being on the other end of that phone when you're talking to them. I'm in what you call customer service / sales / quite a few different titles here. But when people hear you on that phone, the neighbor's dog, when people hear you on the phone, they just get a total disregard that you are actually a human being on the other line. You take in all of that trauma all day, and it becomes mentally draining. It's pretty sad. So I have 2 days off a week. I work a 40-hour week, which actually is a 45-hour week because I get an hour lunch, but it's not paid, but it's during the workday. So me taking that hour out that day as a break and it's unpaid means I'm still working 45 hours a week. That's a lot of time. Think about the perspective of how much time you actually spend sleeping, eating, and working. When do you do anything else? You have your weekends that allows you to do not too much of anything. I switched my hour. I used to work 4 10s just to have an extra day off. Now I don't, because it was too exhausting to do truly 11-hour days. They were just too long, even for that whole day off. And all we're doing is trading money for time, money for time. I'd rather have my time than the money. I say that all the time. I'd rather have my time than the money to do what I want to do, not to do what others would have me to do in order to make them money. My mental, when it comes to work, is not great. And back to what I was saying about the amount of time that we put in a day. Let's evaluate that. Let's take a look at that. I wake up at sometimes 6:30, 7:30 in the morning. I don't have to be to work until 10:30, but I work from home, so I don't have to drive. I don't have a commute. I wake up that early just to have that portion of time for myself, just that little bit of time for myself, those few hours. Soon as the clock strikes 10, my anxiety goes through the roof. Tears start rolling on some days. I start hyperventilating, trying to figure out how can I take today off without it being a penalty to me. Then you work and then you get a lunch break. I live for the lunch break because, again, that's just some more time that I may have to myself to do whatever it is I want to do. And now that I'm implementing becoming a content creator on YouTube, now I have to implement that into this schedule. So now when I wake up in the morning, I'm literally doing whatever I need to do to take in the content, take in the information, try to get a video recorded. Like right now, it's early morning and I'm ready to go to work in a few moments. But back to my timeline. I apologize for jumping all over the place. The lunch, again, I don't get off until 7:30. So I work 10:30 to 7:30. Once I get off at 7:30, my day doesn't end. I help care for my mother. So I, in turn, do that after work. I don't feel like I should have to not want to do things for my family, spend time with my grandbabies, just to have time for myself because I'm giving all my time to a job. I'm giving all my time to a job. I shouldn't have to sacrifice that. I shouldn't have to sacrifice whether or not I want to go spend some time with my family or go to work. It just becomes a time in your life to alleviate one more thing, right? So I appreciate my life. I don't mean to sound like I'm, got the worst life ever, because I don't. But that job, I've been really good over time not working a 9 to 5 because I worked for myself. I had my own property management company. I was a realtor. I had a financial planning business. I decided that that's not what I wanted to do anymore. But I got tired of working for myself. Isn't that weird? Probably not, because you do put in a lot of time. And most people be like, I'd rather work for myself, put that time in for myself. But when it came to real estate, there was no guarantee. I was a realtor. When you are a property manager, I had investment properties. In that position, you're dealing with tenants that don't pay. So you're losing quite a bit. But I did that for a big chunk of my life, probably about 15 years of my life. I took about 8 years off where I didn't work at all. And that was during the time that my husband had passed away. And I kind of just redeveloped and refound myself, if that makes sense. I wish I would have worked those 8 years because I would not be working right now. I've now been working a 9 to 5 for 4 years. And now I just find myself not having time. And now I want to quit my job so that I can have more time. but that's not ideal to quit your job. So I'm putting together a plan to be able to not work for someone else, but to work for myself. I think that I will truly enjoy being a content creator because I enjoy sharing information. Because what I want to talk to you about is my food addiction. I am an addict of food. I still have those issues today. So I want to share a lot of stuff with you. And you hear so many people talking about mental health these days. You know, once upon a time, talking about therapy and mental health and trauma was taboo. Black people don't talk about that. Now they freely talk about it because it frees them. It's freeing to be able to say that you do need help. It's freeing to know that, hey, I recognize there's something wrong. It's very freeing. I just wanted to take a little time today as I went out for this walk, this rising, because I know you can hear the birds. They sound pretty. So I go for this walk, this rising. I just wanted to share my headaches of my daily grind of how my day goes because I have to work this job. I deal with these nasty customers daily. This is a PSA for anybody that's calling any establishment where somebody is on the other line. Please remember that person is a human being. And some people be like, well, they was nasty when they answered the phone, but just think about how many times they weren't nasty when they answered the phone until they had several people who just hammered in on them, and they're people. So they can't just continue to take it from you and not give it back out. But if you show that person you're talking to on the phone just a little bit of compassion, because believe it or not, on those phones, you need compassion. Just want to tell you that too. I'm going to definitely share that with you. I get some calls. I mean, every call, I'm like, hey, thank you for calling. But even when I answer the phone that way, people still treat you like you're not a human on the other end of the phone. But I finished my walk, and I can't wait to talk to you more about all the things, like some of the things I mentioned to you. Hopefully it's the video that talks about my food addiction so that I can share that with you so you can get a little bit more understanding of who I am and why I want to share this information. Because I deal with this daily, and I feel like, you know, I had a lot of help along the way with YouTube. So that's why I want to give back. YouTube really helped me. I call it YouTube University. So with that being said, if you would be so kind to subscribe and watch this video here, you can get a little bit about how my mind thinks. It's an old video, but I'm going to attach it here. And it's talking about our instincts, nature, and harmony. And it's about how it's defined and applied. So go ahead and check that out. Don't forget to like this video, and I'll see you in the next one.